to start today's meeting, and we are going to see general public comment and any council comments at the end. So
Oh, they just moved public comments to the end.
we're going to take our delay for item number 5 and
Thank you. Good morning, Madam City Attorney's Office. I just want to let you know that I do make comparisons, but everything is on topic. The topic on this agenda item is Bureau of Street Services, and since you put the you put us before hearing what they had to say, we can only guess. So I'm going to guess that he's going to be speaking about L. Ron Hubbard Way today, and I am going to ask them to please stop doing the endless street closure permits. Nobody's going to these events. I mean, it's just for Scientology to have a private oasis, a street vacation. And it's not fair to the public because then all this traffic, everything has to go onto the other streets and the neighbors all around it are getting sick of it. And it's just unfair. I mean, imagine if all of our streets got shut down because somebody can get an endless permits after permit after permit. So I'm hoping that, I'm assuming that's what he's going to be speaking on today. Also I assume he's going to be speaking about all the planters that on 3 blocks that are not ADA compliant and that the city has ordered them to be removed. And as of yet, they still are not removed. So I assume he's going to tell us the plan on how they're going to be removing it. And, you know, I'm also going to assume he's also going to sit here and discuss the fact that they are using slave labor to fix public streets. They are sending out old men who make $47 a week, okay, to vacuum and polish the bricks on their street. I get it. They love their street. It's named after their, you know, their God or whatever, L. Ron Hubbard. I get it. But you know what? They still have to pay them fair wages. It's the law. And I need you guys to enforce the law. You can do that much. If you're not going to open our street back, can you at least make sure that these people have the, you know, access to the pay that they deserve for vacuuming and polishing a street? Can you imagine? These people are getting paid $47, and I'm assuming that's what's on his report. I don't know otherwise. Okay, so so please, can you please make sure? And also, well, I have to talk. That's it for now. I will yield back the rest of my time. Thank you.
Please stay on comment on the agenda item.
And then you little bitches will understand that.
Hi. Please have Keith Mosey open up L. Ron Hubbard Way to stop giving these permits, please. Please. Thank you, sir. Which agenda item are we on? Because I'm so confused with how we're rambling and mixing up the meeting. Oh, item number 1. Okay, let me flip back. Thank you. Again, quick reminder, I'm going to be making comparisons and talking about past job performances, but it's all relative. Okay. Ready? Okay, yes. I'm here to talk about the Bureau of Sanitation and the Office of Accounting, and they need to approve $1 million. That's great, but I don't have confidence that anything's going to be done correctly, because especially if people come and say, hey, you know, like look at all the bulk trash, like they're not doing their job, so how are we going to know that they're going to do their job here? Look at our complaints, endless complaints since June, endless. At least, you know, a couple of you are nice. One of you won't even give us any eye contact whatsoever, because I know you're getting sick and tired of hearing us, but the pressure's on because we want things done. We want Bureau of Sanitation to do their job. We want them to come and remove all the planters that are not ADA compliant, you know, because that's a federal issue, and it's been ordered to be removed, and it won't. So we are asking for the Bureau of Sanitation to prove that they can do their job, clean that up first, okay? Clean up Fountain and L. Ron Hubbard Way of all the non-ADA accessible planters, and then we're going to get to this $1 million, you know, for the Water Resource Control Board, because we want sanitation to be fully equipped to do their job. We want them, because, you know, the LAPD gets all the budget, let's face it. So I know we're grasping at, you know, little pieces of the pie, but we want a little bit we want to see them finish what they're already ordered to do. They're ordered to make that ADA compliant, and they aren't. So why are we even having agenda item number 1 when they haven't cleaned up the, you know, the planners yet? They did it for the other businesses. They cleaned up their planners because they're saying it's cruel to the unhoused, which it is, but it's also cruel to the ADA community who can't get through. So I'm going to ask you to please vote no on item.
Running a sewage of a Scientology property into our sewers. Our sewer operations getting up for Scientology has their shit on a public sidewalk, running into our streets. And when are we going to fix the problem, Madam Attorney? When? When are you going to fix this problem? No, it's not going to be that way here. It's not going to be run this way anymore. This is the FBI. I'm going to indict you, motherfuckers.
This is a topic.
This is the topic. It's called clean planters.
Number 2, and for item number 2, we have a public comment from LA. Do you have comments also on Zoom? We do, but we're having an issue. I don't know if it's the caller, so they can try to call in via phone. It looks like the caller that said they have commentary is no longer online, so we'll check them again in a minute after.
Well, from what I hear, every time you they unmute themselves, somebody's muting them again. So I would expect a complaint. I'm just telling you, FYI. Okay, but we're here on agenda item number 2. It's really a lot more of the same. You know, Bureau of Sanitation and our expectations of them and being able to do their job. I don't have much confidence, mostly because, and it's not everyone, like, I actually am very fond of Commissioner Davis. He's, you know, you look dapper today, by the way, but you're always there, cordial. Even you, Mr. Corson, we said hi today in the hall, very polite. So, you know, you're not all bad. But the constant attack on our First Amendment rights when it comes to talking about the Bureau of Sanitation and this expenditure is confusing to me. But $200,000, it doesn't seem like a lot of money, right? So we should just give it to them. But I'm saying no, we should not give it to them because they have work that has been left undone, mainly getting rid of the planters, okay, on L. Ron Hubbard Way and Fountain Avenue that are not ADA compliant. So why are we giving them $200 for this when there's supposedly, what I was told, no money in the budget to give them to make these, you know, those streets, those blocks ADA compliant? You know, because maybe, I want to take an access paratransit and be dropped off, you know what I mean, on Fountain, sir. And I can't. I mean, like, I would have to go blocks, like 2 blocks down the road because I can't, because we're putting this money on number 2. You know what I mean? Instead of letting them do their other job that the city says they have to do. And so I'm just asking that we, and I know y'all have to say yes to this stuff because I know you're managing the city's money and this has to be done, and I get that. But I'm here to say, I want you to say no, even if you don't say no, even if you say no in your heart, that deep down you want the ADA compliance. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You just logged on, so we'll check if you have public comment on item number 3. You'll have 2 minutes for item number 3.
Okay, anyway, so basically, I just want to say that, you know, Alvin Hubbard Way has been closed for a long time, and I think it's time for you guys to reopen it. I believe that.
Speaker, please make your comment to the agenda item, which is item number 3, has to do with payments for a PBS permit.
I'm sorry, but I raised my hand when you were talking about the other items, and I didn't get to speak.
You can make your comment in general public comment, but right now it's agenda item only public comment. So the item is number 3. Please restrict your comments to the extent you have them on item number 3. Thank you.
No, I'll wait till for general comment, but
Thank you.
if my hand is raised.
Who is it? Do we know who that is?
Okay, then let's move on to Audit LA.
Item number 3. Thanks for letting me know because it's a little confusing today with how it's all being turned around upside down. How much time do I have left to speak? Okay, because that's not including public comment, right? Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so item number 3, I'm going to say the same thing. It's a little bit more money, but still not as much as other for Department of Sanitation. I honestly believe you should not give them that money until they do their job with getting rid of all the non-ADA compliant planters. I mean, it's going to be like we could all say it together. What do they need to do first? Move the ADA non-compliant planters out of Fountain and L. Ron Hubbard Way before we give them the money to do other jobs, because how will we know that they're going to do this job? And will you do the oversight to make sure they do the job? Because here I've been begging and begging and begging and begging and begging you to just allow me to access these streets. So can we please have some oversight? It's, you know, and I know deep down, I don't know, I honestly believe that Commissioner Davis would love to see that happen, but I know he, you know, it takes more, it probably takes the whole board. And so I'm going to yield back the rest of my time. Thank you.
Audit LA for item number 4.
Can I have a time check again? 3 minutes? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Tell me when. All right. It's going to be the same thing, you know, and this is a biggie. This is $2,700,000. And again, it's a Bureau of Sanitation. I wish the Department of if the Bureau of Engineering got involved, because I have more confidence in them. They seem to be doing their job better. But we're talking about sanitation. And I want you to give that $2,700,000, please, to sanitation. I want you to give it to them. But I want you to tell them whatever it takes to go to L. Ron Hubbard Way and to Fountain and remove the planters. Not only is it an affront to the unhoused community, which is a no-no in this city, our mayor frowns upon doing that, because remember, in other businesses, the Department of Sanitation was tasked with removing planters because it prevented encampments. But but Scientology somehow says, oh, but we need this, and everyone's silent about it. So I'm asking you to grant this money, but first say, hey, on the way to this place, Hyperion Bioenergy Facility, we're on your way, take a little detour, stop by Fountain, stop by L. Ron Hubbard, get rid of those planters, okay, and then we'll go to Hyperion. I yield back the rest of my time. Don't forget to add those seconds, please. Thank you.
Audit LA.
You have 1 minute and 35 seconds.
Actually, there's somebody on there that's wants to speak on all the agenda items too. Anyway, besides the point, we're here talking about contracts, right? And since we go last, we don't know what contracts they're talking about, so I'm going to assume that they're going to be discussing these contracts. The contract for the streets, especially L. Ron Hubbard, that making sure that the contracts for the workers that are vacuuming and polishing the bricks on L. Ron Hubbard Way, that they are paying full rate, which is, I believe, minimum wage, which is pretty decent. So hopefully they're going to have some contracts with them. So, and I'm hoping also with the contract they're finally, thank you guys. I think I'm going to give you the credit that they're able to bring down the smokestack, and I'm sure there's contracts involved with that. And, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, when they do those contracts, to please make sure they deal with the asbestos abatement, because, you know, we're concerned about asbestos. And the contracts to remove the planters, you know, that are non-ADA compliant. I'm assuming that you're going to be discussing those contracts for sanitation to go, you know, pick them up. And this is the last comment, right? So I could just, okay, continue on my topic. There's not another comment?
There's still general public comment if you would like to provide that.
But I have my additional time. I don't have to use that. I absolutely have my additional time for that. I have 2 minutes for that. It's separate from the 10 minutes.
Yes, it's separate.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so when it comes to contracts, I would love him, I assume it's you, to also please talk about, you know, the contracts that within your department, say of street services, aren't they contracted to go out and check if these endless permits are actually valid? So I would like you to please talk on those contracts, because you know, they're getting endless permits for things that are like, no one's going to these events. It's just, you know, like, I don't know where Timu Yanis, or isn't he the investigator, and Keith Mose, like where they are in this, because like nobody shows up to this thing. So like aren't they contracted to check it out? So can you please look into their contracts to make sure they're actually doing their job, right? Because you're doing your job here, right? You show up, you do your job, you know, you put all this money. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to shock you guys with what I'm going to be speaking about this morning. It's going to be a shocker. It's going to be about Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard Way. Aren't you shocked? Okay. We're also going to talk about a little bit about all your technical difficulties, because a little birdie told me that a certain Alan Iverson wanted to speak on all the agenda items, and it keeps getting, you know, muted every time he unmutes. But you know, I'll let them handle that. We're here to talk about L. Ron Hubbard Way, and I'm glad, you know, it's good that the Vice President, Villegas, stepped aside, because she doesn't want to hear it anymore. She doesn't have the temperament to do this job, my vote is, like, and just a serious question, this is serious. I don't understand why the President Pro Tem is not the head of the board here, the commission, when there's no president. And I also don't understand what the man you have like years worth of experience. You know the stuff inside and out, and why they would just bring some outsider to come in and be president. I mean, I'm hoping it's because you don't want the job, because I won't blame you. I wouldn't want it either. But I hope that's the only reason, because you know what? I think you should be running this whole thing, Mr. Davis. You've always been respectful and decent, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due, even though I'm very frustrated with this whole commission. I'm extremely frustrated. I don't understand why you guys just snub the ADA community when it comes to these planters. I don't get it. I mean, I do get that Scientology has like its prongs and its tentacles into every aspect of LA City politics. I get that the mayor is very fond of Tom Cruise. You know, I get a LAPD is like, you know, all of them. It's everywhere. They're just so inundated. I get it. And they're scary. I mean, they're terrifying. But what about, I mean, but this is ADA issues. These are planters that are not ADA compliant. You can't get in and out. You know, if it's, you know, like, why do I have to go 3 blocks just because Scientology is scary? And because the mayor, you know, maybe has a crush on Tom Cruise. Thank you.
Discriminating against a population of people on wheelchairs, and a person like myself who's ambulatory, not to be able to use and have use of a path of travel on a public street sidewalk, which would infringe on the rights of the community of the disabled, which makes you nothing more but a bunch of dirty, rotten, just like the sewer shit. You smell as you sit there looking at your cell phone. And you smell when you sit there denying us a right to speak during public comment when you turned away the first speaker that wasn't here because he left because he knew that Mommy Teresa was going to ask him to be censored. So he left. He said, fuck that fat bitch. I ain't going to stick around here for this shit. And he left. Dr. Williams left, and he told me to advise the fat bitch, get with the program. If you can't handle the criticism, you fat bitch, get out. Get out of the house of the people. We are the voice of the people.
Adam, if you go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. 2 minutes.
Thank you. Hello.
I agree,
Board.
Concha.
It's me, Mona. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I would hope that you would each agree with this statement. To deny an individual of First Amendment rights is a violation of fundamental public policy. Not only does it make common sense, it is the federal law. Giving endless permits and the planners violating ADA on El Way denies individuals to express their First Amendment rights. You're also liable for aiding and abetting this violation. That makes you and the board the city culpable. The Church of Scientology is a cult. It's guilty of abuse of children and human trafficking. Their speak keeps closing the road, and it violates for First Amendment rights. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you, Mona. Great job.
Donna, if you could go ahead and unmute yourself. 2 minutes.
Hi, good morning. I've been watching these protesters when they were falsely in jail outside of the Scientology building. On June 2024, this organization was over 100,000 gallons of water in an attempt to dissuade legal protesting. The sidewalks, of course, took a hit. This in combination with the illegal planters lined up on public easements and weigh over altogether over 5,000 pounds. Now segments of the sidewalk are heaved and made the sidewalk impassable for those in wheelchairs. So they are not ADA compliant. The planters still have not been removed, as I understand it, as a request from the city. Why is this call allowed to continue to break the rules? It's obvious there's corruption somewhere in the city. I also know that the work that was going on in Way, and I thought it was a public road, but it's always closed. They always seem to be putting sand down and power washing it, and that's done by members, I believe, of the cult. And I think it was even built by attendant children. There's also this big strip of brickwork that's a slightly different color from the rest that goes all the way down the road. That to me seems very strange. Would all this work not fall under public works? And my thoughts keep going to Mayor Karen Bass, who take a partial quote from Gordon from magazine in 2010. Says that we really want to change the world, we have to treat all people with the respect they are due as human beings, and we must fight against oppression wherever we can find it. That is why the words are exciting and their founder, L. Ron Hubbard, the Church of Scientology. Kind of ironic considering how they treat protesters, the child abuse that goes on inside, as well as the human trafficking. But they continue to get away with it. I know you state you can't do anything about it, but I would hope that these issues are highly concerning and you bring them to the attention of the correct authorities, and I leave my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Next caller on the line, Amy. You can go ahead and unmute yourself in 2 minutes.
I'm going to be continuing my, what Autumn said. Still have managers that have been removed. Previous caller stated about the excessive watering. You have done nothing about it. The hypocrites are not taking action and removing the planters. Also, the other issue is that you have the pavement, which is slave labor, like little kids in concentration camps had to lay down bricks and build the road, which I don't understand why you weren't looking at it. So it looks like you were also in on it as well. That isn't it dangerous, don't you think, if a truck flies over it, you're going to have a collapse on that road because it's doing unpermitted work. And the last thing I'm going to have to say is that it seems like we're suppressing another caller who's trying to call in and raise his hand.
and you would meet them. It's like Communist China or Communist Russia in your California government. And the fact that they've done slave labor, and I said it again, LRH way should be L1 Holocaust way, because the way what's going on is a Holocaust of people that have eugenics. It's like the eugenics program, because they don't care about people in wheelchairs. Like in the Holocaust, they didn't care about people. They just wanted to get rid of them through eugenics. Well, L1 cover the cults. They just value people that are able and that are not able, that they don't ditch you aside with if you have a disability. So you'll back my time.
Thank you, Helen. Next caller, we have Kenny again. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself. If you're having trouble, please feel free to call in. And you can press star 9 to raise your hand and star 6 to unmute. Caller Julie, if you could go ahead and unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes.
Let's start off with something a little different. We're going to start off with the logs of Franklin Avenue in front of the La Soubelle restaurant that are placed there by employees to keep any protesters from parking or pulling up there. Also, when they've been trying to be removed by the protesters, employees of La Soubelle come out as they're putting on their masks and run around chasing people with pictures of penises. This is all on video. Okay, that's also a Scientology project, La Poubelle. They even have the sign on top of their building. Now, let's move to LRH. There is no purpose for dirty old sheets and astroturf hanging from a pole, but there's no permit that Scientology even put up the pole, and it looks disgusting. Why do they have to have astroturf and dirty sheets blocking a street? What are they hiding? All the permits for these events are on Sunset Avenue, not for LRH Way. LRH Way may be named after a felon, but it's not owned by the cult of Scientology. Let's see, the electric lighting that is on the public easement has bare electrical wires on Franklin Avenue. These wires are a source of electrocution for public, walking, standing in the easement, whatever. That has to be fixed. Now, most of this is, okay, all of this is done to stop First Amendment rights, which is a federal right.
That's 2 minutes. Thank you.
That was awesome. You guys are
Next, we
knocking
have
out the park.
caller Cheech. You can go ahead and unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes for public comment.
Thank you so much, and good late morning to you and the hundreds of people who are listening and hoping that these words are not falling upon deaf ears as a simple formality, but are really making an impact on the heart of somebody. Do board members have children? Would you ever ask them to lay bricks before they attend their first day of kindergarten? If they think that's disgusting, then maybe you should stop giving so many favors and discounted permits and all of this positive consideration to a cult that does that to children. How about waiting until the first of the month after an elderly person in the cult passed away so they can collect their last SSI check? But let's get a little relevant, shall we? In my opinion, a standing order from the court of law to remove planters should be classified as a pre-qualified service. It's important for ensuring the efficiency, consistency, and compliance with the city standards that before we grant additional funds to contractors that have consistently failed to meet their obligations to maintain the safety of the city, we need to look at what they've done so far. And how many days do you have to clear those planters? They should have been cleared already. My friends in wheelchairs and my friends who are quite ambulatory, like myself, are tripping over things that are being put on public walking areas. It's very dangerous. And while I don't want to echo some of the verbiage used by Batman earlier, on the topic of weight, for contracts with providers such as the ecology contract that moves heavy materials over our roads, I hope you realize the safety of doing this is based on whether or not landlords, like the Church of Scientology, are truthful and apply with the appropriate permits for the underground work. I yield my time to Scientology's occult. You are their friend if you keep letting them run our city.
Thank you, Carl.
Awesome job, Cheese. Good job.
Caller Alan Anderson, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning, can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. So I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, it's a damn shame on all of you for not assisting Audit LA when she goes to the podium to speak. I don't know where TJ is today, but one thing I will say positively about the board is that TJ at least assists Audit by handing her the microphone. I mean, you have no decency of wanting to help somebody in their need by getting yourselves up and just handing the microphone. What in the actual heck is wrong with you? Number two, apparently the city attorney thinks that a higher technology group by the name of Wendell can show up on Fountain Avenue, right by 48 Fountain Avenue, and in front of a minor, in front of tens of thousands of town world to see, including the LAPD who showed up on scene, who showed video. Apparently you could take a fucking shit and masturbate in front of a fucking child and not face any charges. But damn if you touch abandoned property on the easement that's blocking ingress and egress. And you catch criminal fucking charges for that. So I ask you, if I were to show up in front of anybody else home right now, take a fucking shit and masturbate, would I catch charges, city attorney? Would I catch fucking charges? Any decent exposure? Or how about any registered sex offenders fucking masturbating in front of a fucking minor? What the fuck is wrong with this city? And stop fucking muting me. You know it's me, Angry Marini. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? I'm tired of this nice shit. When you let a guy masturbate and take a shit in front of a child, and he not catch any fucking charges, and we know he's affiliated with Scientology, and you let that shit get away? Do you expect some nice thing after that? What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
That's 2 minutes.
What?
All right.
Awesome job, Henry. Awesome.
Unmute yourself about 2 minutes.
Thank you, and I do not appreciate whoever skipped me on item number 3. I'm going to speak specifically, we did find the building or demolition permit for the towers to be removed that are damaged at 1330 Cantina. My concern is the permits do not clearly state to me that the PDs, NEPs, the people that were in item 3 are fully informed of that demolition, which is likely to contain asbestos and possibly lead from the paint. The dust that will be created from the demolition will settle, and we already know that it will go all over, probably across the street, maybe in the next blocks. And when it rains, it will end up in the stormwater, and that's a stormwater problem. It's also a health problem. I witnessed my uncle die from asbestos lung. It's not pretty, and I don't want that for anybody that is in that building, works on that building, or anywhere in the several blocks of that building in the process of removing the incinerator cover. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller is Meg.
Dan, I'll answer later. Right now, I want to hear their comments. Okay.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you. I wondered if the city officials, are they mandatory mandated reporters of elder and child abuse? Where's the labor laws for Scientology? I also want to speak, it's really hard for me to speak about this. This is all court documented records. They're paid $47 a week, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. The criminal acts are forced labor, trafficking, psychological torture, kidnapping, sexual abuse, physical confinement. Look it up. They are exposed to self-admitted pedophiles. Again, this is all court documented records. They are disconnected from all family and friends that are not in Scientology, and this is for Scientology rules. Who will be the voice for the people that have no voice? Will you be their hero today? Do the right thing and make Scientology accountable for their actions with your capability in your office. Take their tax exemption away. They're not a church, they're a cult. Thank you.
Awesome job.
Next caller is Concerned Citizen. Want to speak with Concerned Citizen? Please unmute yourself about 2 minutes.
Hi, good morning. Basically, I'm here just for talking friends. I do want to make a point that First Amendment is the right of all U.S. citizens. Protesting is not a crime. The corruption in your city is unbelievable. Anyway, the planters on Broadway, they need to be removed, and you need to make it happen. You need to open up the street as well. They cannot have permits forever. What's wrong with you? Scientology is a cult, and you know it. And for you, Ms. Villegas, eres una vergüenza para la comunidad. I yield my time.
Awesome job.
Next caller is, see, we still have Kenny Westberg candidates. If you would like to unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, we'll have 2 minutes for public comment.
Sometimes y'all discussing me, man. Y'all showing each other pictures on the cell phone last week when my people was talking. But most of all, the disrespect y'all had towards Carter LA. That lady that has been coming down here month after month, informing y'all of the laws being broken. Yet y'all still act like you hear them, but actions speak louder than words because no action has been taken. And she's telling you that it's disabling her way up and down the street on a public street at that is being illegally blocked. It's sick. It's saying that y'all don't have no kind of disrespect for the ADA community. And then it's like it's being told on deaf ears. Y'all know Scientology is a cult. Y'all know what's going on in that blue building, in the sidewalks and everything else around there. But I don't know what it is. What are y'all scared? Paying off? What? It's corrupt. And y'all know. Y'all being held liable responsibility for this. And it's going on y'all ears and on record. Y'all should know better than this. At least investigate. Do your part. And find out what's going on. Everybody can't keep saying the same thing and ain't nothing happening. If there's smoke, there's fire. And y'all need to investigate it. It's sickening how y'all stand there with people talking. Y'all having personal conversations, showing each other cell phone pictures, or whatever y'all got going on. But y'all is embarrassing yourself as well as the city, letting the world know that the world is watching how corrupt y'all are. I'll yield the rest of my fucking time. Scientology is cult. Kids can't consent. Fuck off the food.
Awesome job, Kenny. Thank you.
Next caller is caller Juju. If you could unmute yourself, you'll have 2 minutes for public comments.
So, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I agree with everything that's been said to you guys. I'd like to add a couple of things that might seem minor, but if the planners would be removed and Scientology would abide by the laws, I wouldn't have to talk about this. Among the ADA violations, and Scientology refusing to remove those planners, excuse me, passing by, they pass garbage stuff in. They pass by with coffee cups, they trash in the planters. Scientology kind of watching them remove stuff in trash, but they wouldn't have to if they just remove the planters. Another thing I haven't heard about bring up, but on Catalina, they planted rose bushes on the easement. People park there. When you get out of your car, you have to navigate through rose bushes with thorns to get out of the car onto the sidewalk. It's ridiculous. They're doing everything they possibly can to make it uncomfortable and difficult for people that live around that neighborhood. There are calls. They do everything they possibly can to just outright take rights from everybody around. They don't own that place. They don't own the sidewalk. They don't own the easement. They don't own the street. Something needs to be done. If my voice is shaking, it's because I'm upset that nothing that we bring before you is addressed. Nothing is done. But you guys